What's up, everyone? Welcome into our fantasy football 10 bold predictions for the 2021 season video. I'm your host, Justin Bales, joined by Ben Hostler. As you can tell from our title, we will be going over 10 bold calls for the 2021 season, 5 apiece. Before we start doing that, Ben, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. Obviously, you and I have been grinding preseason football. Um, it's kind of a weird thing where it feels like football's been gone for a long time, but at the same time, it also feels like it just ended not that long ago. So I'm excited for this season. I've been working behind the scenes, getting ready for obviously this season for DFS, and I think it's going to be another good year for us.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Preseason has been fantastic. Just before we get going here, everyone, if you enjoy our content, please go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the little subscribe button, turn on notifications by hitting the little bell. We also would love to hear your guys' bold calls. That's literally one of my favorite parts of the entire NFL season is all the crazy bold calls that people are doing. So go ahead and leave those in the comments, and let's just really just have fun with this podcast. Prior to starting up the bold calls for the 2021 season, I have a surprise that I didn't tell you about. I found my bold calls from the 2020 season when we did a video for this.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember if I went back and checked how awful mine were, to be quite honest with you. The last time that we did this, anyways.
Yeah, I don't know yours. I don't have yours written down, but just to go over the five that I picked, I guess we'll start. Should we start with the closest or the worst ones?
I'll do the worst first.
Worst first. All right, the worst one, and I'm not joking. None are even close to this. Anthony Miller, 75 plus receptions, 1,000 plus yards.
Oh man.
Big
Yeah.
miss.
You can't hit them all though.
Second worst one. Second worst one. Devin Singletary finishes top 5 in the NFL in rushing yards.
Oh yeah, dude. I remember when we did the video. It was just us arguing about Zach Moss and Devin Singletary the whole
Zach
time.
Moss.
Yeah.
Yep. Another Matthew Stafford throws for 5,000 plus yards and 40 plus touchdowns. Didn't
Yeah.
quite
You
get
you and
there.
I both liked the Lions offense coming to last year. That
Yep.
that was not ideal.
One that actually wasn't that far off that really seemed ridiculous when I wrote it down. Adam Thielen, 100 plus receptions, 1,000 plus yards, 10 plus touchdowns on 150 plus targets. He actually came relatively close, but obviously, I didn't really account for Justin Jefferson being what he was.
Yeah. Obviously neither did I. Literally the best rookie wide receiver season of all time. So we weren't really expecting that, but yeah. For as much slander as Kirk Cousins gets, he normally can support some pretty good fantasy seasons, and he should again this season.
Yep.
And now we got that news. Herb Smith is going to be out at least a little bit. So that's I actually expect Thielen to have another good year, and he's pretty undervalued at drafts at the moment.
I completely agree. And then final one for me, which actually came pretty close to hitting. It basically was derailed by injuries, but Nick Chubb, 1,500 plus yards from scrimmage, and Kareem Hunt, 1,000 plus yards from scrimmage. That actually came pretty close, but obviously Chubb missed some time, so
Yeah,
didn't
he would
quite hit
have
that one.
crushed that if he. I think he missed 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, it was pretty tough on that end, but that also obviously helped Kareem Hunt, so kind of a double-edged sword there. But quickly, before we get into our 2021 bold predictions, I want to invite you guys to go to dfskarma.com or betkarma.com, both of our websites. Betkarma.com for sports betting. We have all kinds of great stuff coming up for the NFL season. It's still going for MLB and everything. We have free articles that you can read. Same goes for dfskarma.com, which obviously is more for fantasy. You can click on the pricing on dfskarma.com and pull up our NFL packages. You just go to the the pricing page, hit NFL. You can get either weekly, monthly, or our season long, which is the best value. So I highly recommend grabbing one of those packages just because we are gearing up so much for NFL. Sam has been doing an elite job with the stats. We're going to have like advanced metrics along with our projections portal, which will be behind the paywall for our NFL premium subscribers. So I would highly recommend going and getting one of those packages, either site, depending on what you're interested in. Or you can also get into our Discord for free at chatdfs.com. So I also, regardless of whether you're getting a package or not, would highly recommend that, since we're just talking football basically all day, every day in our Discord. But I think that about does it for the housekeeping there, and we can get to some 2021 bold predictions. I will let you start, Ben.
All right, I'm going to start out with one that isn't directly tied to fantasy, but I do like a lot of their players in fantasy this year, and it's going to be Carolina Panthers win double-digit games. This is a team, double-digit games. Yeah, I think that they are. I think they're better than the Saints.
No,
Yeah, I'm gonna take a stand there.
not.
I'm gonna take a
Oh, that's
stand
a
there and
bad
say this.
stand.
Um, I mean, coming into the second year under their coach and their offense, um, I don't want to say upgraded quarterback, but because obviously I actually think Teddy Bridgewater's like a pretty average quarterback. I don't think he's that bad.
Mhm.
But we haven't really got to see what Sam Darnold can do on a team that actually tries and wants to give him weapons, and that's exactly what the Panthers are going to do, right? I mean, absolutely stacked.
Mhm.
Outside of McCaffrey, one of the deepest teams at wide receiver in the league, with them bringing in some of those rookies, especially Terrace Marshall. And I'm just really high. I think schedule-wise, it lines up pretty well for them. And I do think they can make noise and make the playoffs. So I like Carolina Panthers double-digit wins for one of mine.
I think that's a good bold call. It's I don't know. It's definitely out there. It's not unreasonable. Like they very well could take a step forward. I 100% agree. I just see them as the third best team in that division. I do still think that the Saints, with Jameis starting at quarterback, Sean Payton still there, they didn't really lose all that much when you think about it. They still have probably the best line in the league. So I still think that the Saints are going to be ahead of them. Obviously, the Bucks. So I would assume it's going to be difficult for them to get to 10 wins, but I like where your head's at, and I do think that's a good bold prediction to start. I will start mine with just we have five, obviously. I have one homer, one. Um, it's just about the Packers. I honestly believe it's going to be true. So you can't really say anything about the team you like without everyone being like, no, you're just a homer, and that's why you think it, even if it's objectively correct. But I have AJ Dillon, 750 plus yards, averages over 5 yards per carry, 7+ touchdowns, and 25 plus receptions on the year.
Yeah, I have a ton of AJ Dillon on all my teams that I've drafted so far, so I really hope that that one comes true. I do think I don't know, like I think I think he can catch the ball, right? Like a lot of people say he's a bad pass catcher, but I think he
Yeah,
can catch the
he isn't.
ball,
He's good.
and I do think there's a
Mhm.
good chance that he can be really efficient when it comes to touchdowns. Obviously, that's hard to predict, but if they give him any goal line work at all. I do think he could have a decent season in terms of touchdowns. So I've been drafting him a ton, and I actually hope that that one comes true.
Yeah, my like the thing that I don't get is everyone's kind of just plugging him into the role that Jamal Williams is leaving behind, but that's not going to happen. They're not the same player. They're not even really that similar of players. Dylan, I think he's going to get more touches on early downs. I also believe that he's a good pass catcher out of the backfield. I actually thought that coming out of college, when most people said he was atrocious. It's just because they don't throw to a running back in college means absolutely nothing. There's several running backs that became great pass catchers in the NFL that they didn't throw to at college at all. But I don't know. I do feel like Green Bay is going to use Dylan a lot in winter at home, just because it's going to keep hits off of Aaron Jones. And I mean, I don't know. I think the toughest part of this will probably be the 25 plus receptions, just because we don't know if they trust it. But also 5 yards a carry. That's actually a decent amount. But I do really like what I've seen out of Dylan, and I liked him coming out of college. I just thought that there was kind of a lot of wear and tear on him because he touched the ball so much at BC.
Yeah, they didn't throw to anybody at Boston College, so not shocking that he didn't rack up catches there because they were absolutely terrible. So can't really blame him on that one. But yeah, I also have a homer one. So since you got yours out of the way, you want me to get mine out of the way? I actually think I made this bold call last year, but I have to run it back with the Browns win the Super
Run it
Bowl.
back.
Yeah, Browns are going to win the Super Bowl. I mean, this is obvious, right? All things are clicking. If they're going to win it, it has to be this year before they have to pay Baker Mayfield, which I just can't advocate for them doing at the moment. We'll see what happens on that front, but I don't know. You were just arguing with AC on Twitter, you and Sam, before we started this pod about the Browns having the deepest roster in the NFL. I actually agree with him.
I wasn't arguing with him.
No,
I said
yeah,
they might.
I saw
it's
you
just
guys.
hilarious.
Yeah, of course.
That AC says
of course
it.
he says
of everyone that says it, when Anthony says it, you can't really take it seriously, even though it could be true. Yeah.
Anyone that's watched our videos before knows Anthony 100% is a huge Browns homer. I really am not. I try not to be biased at all when talking about them, but I do think that they have a chance to win the Super Bowl this year. Obviously, the AFC's loaded. When you talk about the Bills, the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Steelers, even can be decent. There's a lot of good teams in the AFC, and then you have to talk about beating whoever comes out of the NFC as well. Obviously, the Bucs are going to be favored there, so it's not going to be easy, obviously, to win the Super Bowl. But I do think if they're going to, this year is as good as any with the way that their team is setting up. Yeah, I actually think they have a pretty good shot at it.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think it's a bold call. Anytime you call for a team to win the Super Bowl, it's just unlikely that you pick the actual winner. But I think of all the teams that can win it, the Browns are definitely up top. I wouldn't necessarily say like the favorites or anything, but I think they're definitely like one of 5 that I would plug in there as a real shot to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was actually having that discussion earlier about teams I think could realistically win the Super Bowl. Like there's probably like 7. So it's like all those AFC teams I listed: Buffalo, Baltimore, Cleveland, Kansas City. You could probably throw Pittsburgh in there. I don't know. That's 5.
I probably wouldn't.
So we'll say 4 from the AFC: Green Bay, Tampa Bay, and is there anyone from the NFC you'd put in there? I would probably put Seattle in there, I think.
I would put the Rams in there.
Okay, yeah. So we're looking at like 7, 8 teams that we realistically think can win.
Yeah, right around that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I obviously it's tough to say that, but I gotta have one homer.
No, I like the call. I have a call with a Cleveland Brown in it, so I'll go to that one. Logan Thomas and Austin Hooper finish both as the tight end 7 or better this year.
Yeah, Hooper, I'm not sure. Thomas, I love that. Obviously, like I was all over Logan Thomas last year, but I remember nothing was better than going all in on him week 1.
Week 1.
Yeah.
Yep.
He scored the touchdown. I tweeted out on like Thursday. I was like, Logan Thomas is going to score a touchdown Sunday. He did. Absolutely love Logan Thomas. I love what you know what? I would add, I honestly think Washington can be on the Super Bowl list. I don't know if that's a hot take or not. I actually think they can be.
I think that's a hot take, but I agree there. I think I like the roster. My problem is I don't think you're really going to win a Super Bowl with Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
He's fun, but he's not really.
That's definitely a concern, but at the same time, like the Browns, if they had a better quarterback, would be like the favorites in my opinion. I think that's the one thing that holds them back. I don't know if Fitzpatrick can win you a Super Bowl. You might be able to get there with him. Realistically, they could have like the best defense in football, and I don't think that's a hot take at all. Like their defense is loaded.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. My thing, like Logan Thomas, I feel like in this is more obvious. He's being drafted much higher, but I really just wanted to like hammer down how much I think that Logan Thomas is going to perform well this season. And then Hooper, I don't think people realize really the volume that he was getting prior to what's it called? Did he have appendicitis, I believe?
Yeah, he missed some time, definitely.
Yeah. So prior to that, he was getting a lot of volume. Late in the season, he got volume. It's pretty clear cut that he's their top tight end. And um, after like the top few guys, tight end is pretty wide open. If Hooper can just grab a few touchdowns, he should have the volume to finish as a tight end 7 or better. And he's being drafted like way later.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he does. Obviously, I don't know if is he still the most expensive tight end in the NFL. I think he's up there with Kelsey
I
and those
completely
guys.
forgot that they
So
paid him that much.
yeah, so for that sake,
You got to use him.
yeah, hopefully they do use him.
You're up. What's your third bold prediction here?
Yeah, third one for me is Lamar Jackson 1,500 rushing yards. So, um,
15.
yeah, that's a lot. He has the single season record at just over 1,200, I believe. So I'm gonna go with him over the 1,500 mark. I love Lamar again this season for fantasy. I think people are kind of, I don't want to say burn out on him, but like he was really
No,
good 2 years ago. Then
yeah,
last year
that's a
he
good
he
way to
was still
put it.
good, but yeah, it's just like he was the flavor of the month before last season, and now it's like people are like, they just seem neutral in him.
Justin
But
Herbert.
yeah, exactly. So I
He'll
like
change
him.
again.
I like him again this year. I think with this one actually changed for me just with the Dobbins injury. That really sucks, man.
Mhm.
I love J.K. Dobbins. It's gonna suck that he's not gonna be able
Yeah.
to play this year, but people are talking about Gus Edwards and Justice Hill and all that, which obviously it does boost them, but I think it boosts Lamar a lot as
Mhm.
well. I know people they want him to stay in and just throw. I do think he'll throw a little bit more this year, but um, I still think he's gonna run, and I don't know. I think I like the 1,500 mark for him this year.
I think that is really high, but
Yeah, it's so high. There's like
it's,
no chance of this happening, but it's okay.
I also have a quarterback rushing one in my bold prediction, so
It's not
I can
1,500
just jump
yards
right there.
though.
No, not quite 15. I had that Justin Fields will average 70 or more rushing yards per game in starts this season. That would
Yeah,
be what, about 1,200 if he averaged just the 70.
yeah. Depending on how many games he starts, that would be Lamar Jackson-esque rushing performance there.
Yep. So pretty bold in my opinion, but
Yeah,
if
definitely
you've
bold.
seen Fields, he's like
I
always the fastest player on the field. It's crazy.
Yeah, I am the resident Ohio State fan here, so I have seen plenty of Justin Fields. I like Justin Fields a lot. I don't know, man. With that offensive line, Tevin Jenkins being hurt, he might need to run that much. I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there.
Yeah, I feel like it just comes down to how quickly they're willing to pull Andy Dalton.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how you watch the games and don't think Justin Fields is better. I understand wanting to save him and you don't want to throw him in there. Like, this is the weirdest thing to me. Everyone's like, we can't play Justin Fields week 1 against the Rams. Like it's like the greatest team of all time or something.
Yeah,
Like he's never gonna play a good defense. What are you just gonna bench him against the good teams and then play
every
him
time
against
they
the
have a
bad
good.
teams? It makes no sense.
Also, and hear me out, Fields is the kind of player that you probably do want to put in that because you tell me how Andy Dalton's getting away from their defensive line.
Yeah, and I mean, you could also bake in that. I don't know. McVay is obviously very smart, but I mean, you would have to think that they were mainly assuming they're going to see Dalton. So if you throw Fields out there, maybe you get like a slight edge. I don't know.
Mhm. No, I mean, I think it's crazy that Andy Dalton's getting starts, but someone posted on Twitter the other day and was like, this just reminds them of a Tom Savage. Remember when he started week 1 instead of Deshaun Watson?
Yep, 100% agree.
See, it does feel like that. But moving along to bold prediction number 4 for you, what do you got?
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to like this one, but
Oh man.
I think this is a fun one. I think that there's a legitimate chance most of or all these high pick rookie quarterbacks are just end up being good. And I'm gonna say rookie of the year, Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. I knew it was
That's
coming.
gonna that's
I
gonna
knew
be
it was
my
coming.
look. This hurts me because I'm the biggest. I defend Trey Lance on Twitter all the time. I'm the biggest Trey Lance fan. Obviously, I like Justin Fields as well. Trevor Lawrence is the number one pick, but I don't know. I think Mac Jones has looked really good in the preseason. Obviously, it's just preseason, but he's looked
I
really good.
agree.
I think he's set up on a better team than some of those guys. Obviously, San Fran is good, but the Patriots went 7-9 last year with Cam looking pretty bad. Um, so I still think that overall they're a good team. People want to talk like they're done and they're terrible, but I mean 7-9. Not many teams would have went 7-9 with the way Cam played last year, other than the Patriots.
Mhm.
So I do think he's on a good team. I think he's set up for success in that system. He's looked really good. Bill Belichick came out today and said we have some decisions to make on quarterback. I don't know if he's going to start week 1, but I know he's going to start pretty soon. I think. Um, yeah, and I think a lot of these quarterbacks can be good. So I'm just gonna take the longer shot and take Mac Jones for Rookie of the Year.
I agree. I think all five of the quarterbacks have looked impressive at times so far. I think that all five of them can enjoy good careers. I do not think that Mac Jones wins Rookie of the Year, and the only reason that I pretty much label him out of it is because when you look at what rookie quarterbacks are kind of in the NFL right now, um, you need Mac Jones is going to have the best throwing season of a rookie quarterback maybe ever, because Trevor Lawrence is going to use his legs. If Trey Lance plays at all, he's going to use his legs. Justin Fields, I've already said that I predicted him averaging 70 rush yards per game. Zach Wilson, okay, he's not going to use his legs as much, but Wilson's looked incredible early on. So it's just, for me, it feels like Mac Jones is going to need to do something that we haven't seen in a while for him to have a chance to win Rookie of the Year, just because of the way that someone like Justin Fields plays the game, right?
Oh yeah, the odds are definitely stacked against him when you're up against someone like Justin Fields or Trey Lance, but that's why it's a bold call. Also, I think like the team aspect could be good for him. Like, what if they come out and like win the division, they win a bunch of games? I think that could be a boost for him because the Bears could be bad, the Jets could obviously be bad, Jaguars
Mm-hmm.
could be bad. So if he wins a bunch of
49ers.
games, goes to the playoffs or something, I think that could be a help for him.
Yeah, I could see it. I guess that's why it's a bold prediction, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Mine, I have, and if anyone follows me on Twitter, um, watches any of our stuff, you guys already know where this one's heading. Deontay Johnson, top 5 wide receiver in PPR.
All right, this is good. My last one is also a top 5 wide receiver in PPR bold prediction. So this is good. So we're head to head with like the same bold call. I like this. I like this a lot. But that's a good one. I do think he is the number one in Pittsburgh at the moment. Yes.
Yeah, most people are like, no, Claypool or whatever, but Deontay's the number one. He's going to continue to be the number one, and people always talk about his low A dot and everything just because of last year, because they basically used him as a running back. Um, Deontay Johnson is just an absolutely electric player. He doesn't need to catch the ball at the line of scrimmage. I promise you that. He showed that as a rookie with terrible quarterback play when he looked outstanding. So it's not, he's not a one trick pony where you got to get the ball in his hands immediately. Even though they still are going to do that, he's going to have plenty of catches. But I feel like he's going to be a bigger downfield threat this year too.
Yeah. I mean, he also people like to knock him for drops, which I just think is overrated. Like if you're continually getting
Yeah, who
open, putting
cares?
yourself in a position, it's just not going to bother me whatsoever. So yeah, I agree with you.
his his drops last year were the same as DK Metcalf's, and not a single person has said a word about Metcalf dropping the ball.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. That's a good one.
So who's in your top 5?
Can you guess?
Is it as,
I wonder if you can guess who mine is.
if I can guess here? Give me some type of hint here.
NFC, not AFC.
As a top 5, that's going to be a bold call.
NFC East, top 5 wide receiver in fantasy
It's got
football.
to be, it's I I mean, I want to say it's Terry McLaurin. It's not. You picked CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, that's actually God, you know me
I
so
know.
well. It's so accurate. Love Terry McLaurin, but yeah, definitely picked CeeDee Lamb. Um, yeah, I mean, he was. You could tell he was just going to break out all over the place. Not that he didn't have a good rookie season, because he did, but you could tell that the chemistry was building with Dak Prescott last year, before Dak got hurt. And did he get hurt? I'm trying to think. Did Dak get hurt in the Browns game? No, he led them back. I think
Yes.
it was okay. Did he lead him back and then got hurt in the Browns game? Because I know they like brought
The
it back a little bit because the Browns were
I
blowing
think
him
I
out.
literally just looked at it this morning. He played almost 70% of the snaps.
Right. Yeah. And the first touchdown of that game was to CeeDee Lamb, by the way. But uh, this was far and away the best wide receiver that came out in last year's class. The fact that the Raiders took Henry Ruggs from him is a joke. Everyone knows this. You and I really liked Henry Ruggs for fantasy last year, but that has
Yeah.
nothing to do with real life football and the fact that CeeDee Lamb was one of the best wide receiver prospects that's come out in the last like 10 years. So the fact that he didn't go number one is crazy at his position, but everything sets up for him, man. I think that Dallas's defense will be a little bit better, but it's still not great. He has the quarterback. Now, the only thing that worries
Yep.
me is obviously he still has Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup. They like to run Zeke. Like, there's a lot going on there,
Yeah.
but I truly believe CeeDee Lamb is that good, and I don't see why he can't do this if he has the type of season that I expect him to.
So this is kind of funny because I'm huge on CeeDee Lamb. I'm just like you. Absolutely love the talent. But if you looked at Amari Cooper prior to Dak getting hurt last year, oh my
Yeah,
God, he
yeah,
was so
numbers were
nuts.
insane.
I've been drafting so much Amari Cooper, it's crazy. And I agree with CeeDee Lamb being great. I just feel like it's going to be a 1A, 1B type of thing where Cooper's still going to just hold on to that 1A. It's not like he's really getting pushed out the door or anything. I feel like if someone drops, it's going to be Michael Gallup, which makes sense. But no, I like your call. Similar to like the Diontae Johnson thing, he's got Juju there, he's got Claypool there. They have Harris that they're going to be throwing to, so that you're just kind of taking good receivers and good offenses, right?
Yeah, and I actually um I've done a lot of drafts over the weekend just with like friends and stuff, like other like normal season long leagues that I've been in, and one of my favorite things to do, it's you can't really do this in like an actual like higher stakes draft, but if you're just drafting with your friends and family, it's actually pretty easy to do this. You can just take CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and Dak Prescott, and I really like doing that
Mhm.
this season. So
Yeah, I know. I think that's great. My final bold prediction actually is going to kind of go in with you on CeeDee Lamb here. So I have that two or more quarterbacks will break Peyton Manning's passing yards record in a season.
all right, so Dak and what Mahomes?
I think I think the most likely would be Dak and Mahomes. Do think that there's other quarterbacks that have a shot. I think one that makes a lot of sense, assuming he keeps the job and plays well, is Jameis Winston.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see Josh Allen just with how much they're going to throw.
Hmm. Yeah, then you have like
Definitely.
Stafford and McVay's offense. It's
Right.
Joe
Yeah.
Burrow with a nice trio of receivers, a good running back that can catch the ball. I think there's a lot of quarterbacks that have the potential. I think my top three though would probably be Dak, Mahomes, and my top four: Josh Allen and Jameis Winston. I don't know which one I would prefer out of Allen and Winston.
Yeah. I think I agree with that. To be quite honest with you.
That is 10 bold predictions from yours truly. We have a few that I'm going to read off that we asked in our Discord. JBone733 said Chris Evans supplants Joe Mixon and finishes as a top 5 fantasy running back.
Let's go.
That's bold. Jake
I
G
like
said
Chris
Bills.
Evans, man. I actually like him as a player. That would be something.
Yeah, I like him too. I just I don't think he's taking over for Mixon quite so soon. Jake G said Bills Vikings Super Bowl.
Wow, that
That
would
would be
be
insane.
that's like, I mean, can you imagine that? Imagine the Steph Diggs revenge game in the Super Bowl. Like
Yeah, I
this
know.
guy would have 250 yards.
That would be crazy. Dom said DK Metcalf as the wide receiver one and Julio Jones in the top 5.
Yeah, Julio's super cheap. I think AJ Brown's the number one there, but he is
Yep.
basically free in drafts.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And then the final one that we have is from our own Travis.
Oh Lord.
Not only does he say Miami to the AFC Championship game this season,
Please tell
but
me
next season
please.
also they win the Super Bowl, baby.
Okay, okay. So I'm not gonna lie, I really strongly debated one of my 5 being Tua Tagovailoa MVP. So I was like, please tell
I
me.
debated that too, so
Okay, thank you. I was gonna please tell me Travis did not say that because I would have just cursed it. But I actually think that's a decent bet at the current odds, to be
Mhm.
honest.
Nope, I completely agree. I already have if you guys don't know, we're releasing season-long bets on Bet Karma. And one of mine is that the Dolphins will make the playoffs. And you can, I don't know if you still can, but when I released the article, you could get it at plus odds for them solely to make the playoffs, which I actually think that they have one of the better rosters in the entire NFL. So that was a pretty easy bet for me. I don't know if you like Miami's roster as a whole as much as I do, but I feel like it's one of the better ones in the entire league.
Yeah, and they could like it was big for them keeping Xavier Howard, obviously.
Yep.
Huge for them. But yeah, I could see them. I could see them making it.
Now, once again, if you enjoy our content, please give us a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to the channel. We're going to have a ton of content coming out for NFL. We still do daily MLB streams. In October, obviously, NBA is coming out. So, a little bit of everything. We should have some betting content coming out on our YouTube as well. So, turn on the notifications, and we want to hear your bold predictions in the comments. So, please do give us those. As always, dfskarma.com, and then you can click on the pricing tab, and that is where you find all of our packages. But until then, just good luck this season. Hopefully, all of your drafts go well, and hopefully, we see you guys in Discord for quite a few DFS slates. So, good luck to all, and hopefully, everything goes your way this season.